Welcome to Programming KT. I am explaining about the concept is conditional statements in Java. So conditional statements are used to execute specific lines of code or it may be block of code to execute based on some condition. In that case, conditional statements are used. Now let me try to explain how we can use that conditional statements. Imagine we have here I am trying to explain with some diagrams, lines. So imagine I have six lines of Java code. So out of the six, I want to execute middle two based on some condition. So how we can do? So I will move that two lines of code inside if block. So with some condition. So if is a conditional statements, I will explain. So first two lines, middle two lines, last two lines. So these two lines will be executed if the condition is true. Here if block is expecting boolean kind of value. So if the expression is true, then only these two lines will be executed. So otherwise first two last two only will be executed. So this is the usage about conditional statements in if. And one more two more will be there, else block and switch block. I will explain one by one. So we have total three conditional statements. First one will be if conditional statement, if block we can say. Second one is else, and the third one is switch. So these are the three conditional statements. Now try to explain with if block first. So syntax I am trying to explain about if syntax for if block. So what is the syntax means? So if here always it is expecting boolean expression. Boolean expression. If it is true, I can say here I can say if block body are true. True body. Instead of true, we can call it as a if block body. So if block body. So if the condition is true, depending on your requirement, you can write any number of lines inside that if. So this is the syntax. Now let me try to write an example. So let me try to move little bit up. So I am trying to write example for if block. So imagine I have variable int x equal to 20. I am trying to check the value is greater than 0 or not. I am trying to check. So in that case, if I x is greater than 0, so this is the if expression. If block conditional check. Here I can say this is the expression statement, right? So if it is true, I am trying to write. X is something greater than 0. So this is the some SOP statement. So here we can always false. I already explained at the time of syntax, right? Boolean value. So this statement must be Boolean. Otherwise, you will get compilation error. So if the x is 20, right? 20 greater than 0, true. X is greater than 0, statement, it will be print. So instead of this, if I can pass directly if 0 something like that, if I can pass like this, so immediately I will get compilation error here. Syntax error, boolean expression statement must be required, you will get compilation error. Not only 0, if I can write any number also, you will get compilation error. So here always you need to pass boolean expression, otherwise you will get compilation error. So and moreover that one more thing you need to uh, consider about if statement. If the statement, if block statement, if the inside that if block, so if we have only one statement, then curly braces are optional. So we can write this statement with if x is greater than 0, so SOP of x is greater than something greater than 0. So both are exactly, both are same, there is no difference. So if it is only one line of statement, curly braces are optional. So this one and this one both are same. So this is the example, and syntax and example about if block, and moreover that you need to remember one point. If the statement is have only one if block statement have only one line, then curly braces are optional. And if block always expects boolean expression, otherwise you will get compilation error. So next one is else. Else expression almost we can use along with the if block only. We can't write directly else. If we get directly else, there is no if block, right? Other you will get compilation error. There is no if, something like that. So now I am trying to explain about else. Second one is else. So else there must be combination of if and else. We can't use, we can use if only. You can, here I already wrote, right. So we can write only one if statement. There is no problem. So but you can write only else statement. You will get compilation error. Like I can't write something else, something statement, whatever it may be. Here I can write this is invalid. Invalid code, so we can't write else directly. So else always used along with if block. If block statement is false, in that case else statement will be executed. So imagine, so I have int x equal to minus 10. Previously I declared int x is equal to 10, right? Here I am trying to declare minus 10. So here I am trying to check x is greater than 0. So SOP of x is greater than 0, something like that I am trying to write. So else SOP of x is less than 0. 0 or 0, so you can declare number or you can write lexically. So here if statement, so 10 minus 10 greater than 0 false, immediately else block will be executed. So you can write here also, curly braces. So here also a rule is same, else block also. If the statement is only one line, so curly braces are optional. So this one, or else I can write same example. If x is greater than 0, I am not, previously I wrote curly braces. Here I am not writing curly braces. Some x is greater than 0, else SOP of x is less than 0, something. So if it is only one statement, then curly braces are optional. So, but one thing you need to remember, else statement must be combination of if statement, and then only you need to write else. So combination, first you need to write if, then only you need to write else. So one more combination will be else if also not valid. So if we can write here, I will. So let me try to write here else and corresponding statement can write if like this. So this is also invalid. So there must be if first, then only else you need to write. So else and if, no, invalid combination, first you need to write if like this, then only you need to write else. So this is the some key points you need to remember about else statement. And moreover that here I wrote only one and two, right? One block, if it is true I am trying to execute inside if statement, otherwise I am trying to execute else statement. So if you want to check, keep on conditionally checking. So in that case, if else statements will be right, more than one if else, that is called if else ladder. Now let me try to write example with that one as well. So for that, what I am trying to write, um, first I can write that example. So let me try to declare a string and password. So everywhere we have, when we are signing up to any website, it is asking strong password, right? Let us imagine 123 1 4 1 2 4 6 hash a something, some dollar. So this is the password we are trying to enter. So for this, I am trying to explain about if else block. So if so, first the password must be, I mean, not equal to null. I mean, not equal to empty or not equal to null. So first, let me try to explain with null. So we need to display some error messages, right? So like, please enter password. Please enter password must be greater than 6 digits. Must be a combination of letter. Must be combination of special character digit. These kind of rules will be there, right? So first, let me check with password is null. So in this case, we need to return message like, I mean, you need to display some red color, right? So please enter password. Something like that we can return. So if the password is not null, so then we need to check the password dot length. Password dot length equal to, I mean, less than or equal to 5. Less than or equal to 5. So here I am trying to return the message like, please enter password must be greater than 5 digits. I mean, greater than or equal to 5 digits. I mean, if it is less than or equal to 5 digits, I am trying to provide message like password must be greater than or equal to, I mean, 5 digits. Here we need to write if else, not only else, if else we need to write here. We try to write properly. So else if, so the password length is less than 5, and one more thing, else if, one more else if block. So password that contains, I mean, not contains, I'm trying to write not contains any special character. I mean, I can say here my intention is, I mean, this contains method may be there, may not be there, but we need to check. I'm trying to explain out my intention. Some any one special character, I can say not contains any special character, we can declare here whatever the extra characters you are trying to expect, you can declare here. Other return, we can return password must be contains special character. So like this number of rules we can declare by using if else, if else, if else. This is called if else ladder. So imagine first case password is null. I mean, I did not enter the password. In that case, first statement will be executed. Next case, I have only password length will be A, B, C. So password length is 3. So here it will be executed. Password length must be greater than 5. I mean, first statement is not executed. Why? Because there must be a value. So in that case, not, I mean, is equal to null, false, it will jump into FL, I mean else if. So here it will be true. Why? Because length is less than or equal to 5. It will be executed in, I mean, and execute if else statement. Please enter the greater than or equal to 5, I mean the length password. So third case, here I have number of digits, right? So in that case it won't be executed. Why? Because I have special case, moreover that greater than 5. So if it is 1, 2, 4, 6, so even though I have four length of password will be length 4, but I have length is greater, I mean less than 5. Again, it will be executed. So if we have password 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, so we have 6-digit password, but there is no special character. In that case, this statement will be executed. So this is most of the times these if else blocks we can use in validations purpose only. So along with validations, we need to check some conditional logics also we can use inside when you are working with real time projects. So this is about if, I mean else statement, combination of if statement. And finally one thing is switch case. So switch case when to use, I will explain when we can use switch. So I have switch case like, so my requirement is I have, I am trying to explain about switch. So if I can pass some number, I want to get corresponding week. So in that case we have 7 weeks, right? So I am trying to implement first that by using if else block. Then I will implement with, I mean what are the disadvantage with if else block. Then I will explain with the switch block. So if I have integer I equal to some value, so if I can pass 1, I want to get Sunday. Like that I am trying to implement if else block. So if I value equal to 1, return Sunday. So I will write anyway example in code, I mean Visual Studio Code. Next one is if else I equal to 2, return Monday. So next one is else if, this one we need to write else if. Next else if, again else if I equal to 3, return Tuesday. Like this, else if I equal to 4, return Wednesday. So like this, I need to write, right? I mean, for all weeks. So like this, I will skip some part. Why? Because this is the same code. So like this, else if this statement we need to come till, I mean continue until else if I value equal to 7, return Saturday. So this is the logic about, I mean, if else blocks. So everywhere I wrote 4 to, I mean 6 if else statement, right? I mean seven if else statements. So this is not looking good, right? The code every time I need to write if else, if else, if else. So instead of that writing, if you are trying to pass one integer, so you want to get some number, so we can minimize the code, and moreover that readability will be good if I can use a switch statement instead of if else. This is called if else ladder, but looking not good, right? Instead of that, they introduced with a few lines of code switch statement. So how switch statement will work, I will execute, I will explain. So first we need to declare a switch along with corresponding input number. Then you can declare cases. We have case keyword. Keyword if it is one, I mean means, so we can return or print itself. Here I written, right. Print also no problem. We can print it SOP of Sunday. So break. So why we need to break? If you did not write the break, it will jump into next statement as well. So anyway, switch case enhancement will be there in JDK 13. So I am trying to explain about basic switch case. So SOP of, if the switch case is, I mean 2 here. 2, I am trying to print Monday. Break. Break must be there. I mean before JDK 13. So next one is case 3. 3 means SOP of Tuesday. So I will write the code anyway. Here I am trying to write just a pseudo code only. Break. So why we are using this break statement, So to stop that, I mean to stop the execution if the statement is, I mean true. I mean if the condition is matched. So if I can pass 2, it will check this corresponding value is, I mean 1 or not. If I can pass value 1, it will move into this switch case. It will check. If it is 1, it will be executed Sunday, then it will be break. So if I did not write this break statement, if you move to here, print this one and again print this one, again print this one, if the break statement is not there. So that is the usage about break statement. We need to use break to stop the once the condition is true. Finally, we have one statement called a default. So default, you can write here, if we can pass number 1 to 7, we have only 7 weeks, right? So if we can pass out of 7, if I can pass 8, in that case I can say here SOP of invalid invalid week. Please enter a valid week. Depending on our message, I mean requirement, you can declare our own message. So if I can pass 1 to 7, corresponding case will be executed and it will return that corresponding week name. So if we can pass beyond that name, I mean either it may be positive number or I can pass negative also, negative one. So in that case, it won't be matched any case. In that case, default will be executed with some meaningful name. So this is about conditional statements. So first one is if block, next one is else block, and third one is switch case. So I hope you got clarity where exactly these conditional statements are used. So I will explain anyway one more time with the Visual Studio Code editor along with some examples. Now I am trying to explain about. I will write examples inside that text editor. Visual Studio Code. So I will explain it. So till now I covered all these topics. The types. Introduction about Java, keywords, operators, and variables. So here I am trying to explain about conditional statements. Right? I am trying to declare one package, or you can say folder also. Conditional statements. So inside this conditional statements, I am trying to create one Java file. So conditional conditional statements dot Java extension must be dot Java. So this is the class file. So inside this, I am trying to write main method. I will write examples. So now let me try to explain one by one. So conditional statements. What are the conditional statements we have? Di conditional conditional statements we have three, right? So first one is if, next one is else, next one is switch. These are the three statements. Let me try to explain about if. So if block can be used along with expression, if curly brace, boolean expression, I can write it as a name is syntax. I'm trying to explain with multi-line comments. So how syntax look like? So first one is if block, boolean value, boolean expression, curly brace and open curly brace, true curly brace. If block body. So this is the syntax about if block. So now next time let me try to explain about example. So I have value like 10. So I already explained on whiteboard, right? So here I'm trying to execute the x value is equal to 10. If it is true, I'm trying to write x value is something 10. This is the Boolean expression, the equality relational operator I'm trying to use here. Now let me try to execute that code inside terminal cd conditional statement. Just type two letters, hit on tab, it will Visual Studio Code automatically will pick up. So next Java, for file name also first enter first two letters, hit on tab, it will consider, remaining part it will take care. So x value is 10, it is executing. So if I can pass here, if I will check with 11 or else any number other than 10, I won't be executed any, nothing here it will printed. Why? Because blank. So if the value is, x value is not equal to 11, that's why if block body is not executed. So this is the usage about if block. So if the condition is false, you need to execute some alternate value, alternate condition. So else we can write else s out x value is not 10. So in this case, else block will be executed. X is not 10. So moreover that not only 10, if I want to print that given number is even number or not. So I will use a division operator. X divides by 2 not equal to 0, then this is the x is even number, or else x is odd number. X is odd number. Even number means double equal to only. So if the x divides by 2, I mean modulus operator I am trying to use. So if the modulus operator I am applying with two operands, x variable and 2. So 10 divides by 2 5s 10. Remainder is 0, right? It is even number. It will print f block. So x is a even number. If I can pass 9, so 2 fours 8, I mean 2 fours 8, but it is a not even number. In that case, it will print odd number. So odd number. So I already said, right, if we have only one line of statement, then curly braces are optional. Let me try to remove curly braces. Now let me try to export. Still I will get odd number. So if you have doubt, let me try to change this small case. So I updated output. Small is, I mean, small x with, I mean, small x is not odd number. So this is about if and if else. Not only here I wrote two examples, right? Anything. So when you are working with the real-time projects at the time of validation purpose, so many cases you can use. But one thing you need to remember is syntax about if block. So here you need to write always Boolean expression. Now let me try to write some invalid syntax. So here I'm trying to pass value 6. So here it is saying type mismatch cannot convert from int to boolean. So what it is saying, if block must expecting always boolean value. So if you can pass other than boolean value, you will get compilation error. So this is the one important point you need to remember. So most of the online test and OCJP exam, so in that cases it one of the question like I mean they will provide like this. So we need to easily identify. So if we can remember this syntax, so boolean always expecting, I mean if block always expecting boolean value, other than boolean you will get compilation error. I mean it is expecting, I mean boolean value, type mismatch converting, I mean corresponding value, not only integer. If we can pass char also, here I can declare char j equal to some any value you can pass on character. So if I can pass directly a here, I will get compilation error. So again here it is expecting cannot type mismatch convert from char to boolean. Previously it is int to boolean. So any value other than boolean it will give compilation error. This is the syntax and the rule you need to remember, and moreover that if it is more than one line, then otherwise it will get, let me try to write one more statement. So you will get again compilation error right here also. So not if you won't get compilation error, but it is saying, I mean it won't consider, else delete this token. I mean it is considering up to here. I mean it will, let me try to execute now. 1 minute before that, let me try to resolve this compilation error. So syntax error and token else delete this token. So 1 minute. So instead of that, I can move here. So here it is saying syntax error. I mean, this is not a reachable code. I think that's why it is saying. I mean, this is the EX. So in that case, let me try to remove this first. So here I wrote two, I mean two lines of code, but without curly brace. Let me try to execute it. So even number, I mean even number. Why? Because even number out of if plug even number, you can write one statement here. Out of if block. Now let me try to run one more time. So by default it is executing. So you won't get any compilation error, but up to it will consider this is statement only. If it is not, if it is not, if it is true, it will execute this. Otherwise, it directly execute remaining statement. Why? Because you won't get any compilation error, but it will treat like out of if statement directly it will execute. So next time when you are trying to write else statement, why it is giving, I don't know why, because so there must be combination of if else block. I mean you can't write, I mean one point and I forgot it. So the error here why I am trying to get, combination of if else block, immediately you need to start, I mean if along with else. So this is the valid syntax. So if I can write any one statement after if block, so if I can write any one statement here, so this is invalid. Why? Because you are writing else without if. That's why it is saying compilation error. I already explained. I think at the time of explaining if, right. So this is use case. This is the use case about without writing if block. You are trying to use else block. That's why it is saying invalid syntax. I mean delete this token. Some, I mean this different error it is saying. The meaning is, so you are writing else block without using if block. That's why it is giving compilation error. So you can write statement more than one statement without curly brace. It will treat like normal line. I mean normal Java code out of this if condition. Moreover that here you are trying to read without if. That's why it is getting compilation error. So this is the examples about and rules if else blocks. Now I already explained about if and else block also. Else you need to write along with if. With the else block I explained, right? I mean even number and odd number, divisible, not divisible. So I think I already covered about else block. Now let me try to explain about switch case. So switch case, I mean let me try to declare about weak number. I'm trying to declare. So switch is already providing some, I mean editor is already suggesting. I'm trying to pass value as a weak integer value. If it is 1, I'm trying to print Sunday. So repeat this. We have almost 7, right? I mean, it is need to replace 1 with 2. Sunday, Monday. Now let me try to copy paste 3 times. 2, 3. If it is 3, then it will print Tuesday. If it is 4, then Thursday, Wednesday, Wednesday, then 5, it will be Thursday, and 6, Friday, and finally 7, Saturday. Saturday. I mean, if it is not out of range, you can provide some default statement will be executed. Here we can write some meaningful name like valid week number, something like that we can provide. So here I wrote, I mean, switch case, I'm trying to pass value 1. In that case, expected result is 1. I mean, Sunday. So first one, I mean, about if else blocks, Sunday. So if I can remove this break, it will move to next. So if you are seeing right here, if I removed break statement, it will move to next also. Let me remove here also. So this is not at all recommended. We need to maintain break. Otherwise, it will execute multiple block of statements, right? So that is not at all recommended. Not good programming practice. So I am trying to pass one. I want only Sunday. Instead of that, it is printing everything, right? This is not good programming practice. Need to maintain break statement. Now let me try to replace with 7. I mean, in that case, I'm trying to expect Saturday. Saturday I'm getting. So if we can pass 8 or else 9, so it will provide some meaningful message like please enter valid week number. Not only positive number, let me try to pass 0 or else minus 6. This case also I will get same. Please enter valid week number. So this is about, I mean, if block, else block, switch case, conditional statements. So one thing you, I mean, let me one more time explain about rules and syntax about if block, else block, and switch. So if statement, conditional statements we have three: if block, else block, and switch. So syntax for if is we need to pass if, I mean, always boolean. If open brace, closed brace, inside that we need to always pass boolean value. Any other than boolean expression, you will get compilation error. So one point you need to remember, first one is all it is expecting always boolean value. Anyway, I will write some notes here and I will commit this code. You can refer that. Why? Because here it is taking more than, I mean, expected time. That's why I'm trying to explain here. So if it is, if always expecting boolean value, if it is true, it will execute inside the main body. And coming to else block, and moreover that if the if statement is only one line of code, then curly braces are optional. First one is, first rule is boolean expression expecting if block is always expecting boolean expression. Second rule, if the boolean expression, if expression, I mean, if block is having only one statement, curly braces are optional. This is first and second rules. And else block, when it comes to else block, so we need to write else block along with if statements. Oh, without using a else if statement, else will give compilation error. We need to write always, I mean, combination of if else. That is the first rule. So if the if statement is false, in that case, else statement will be executed. Like, let me try to write, if syntax and write if block syntax. So next, else block syntax. So there must be a else block. I mean, if will be there. Otherwise, you will get compilation error. So this is the valid syntax of else block. So if it is only one statement in else also, we can write only, I mean, without curly braces. So both are same. Can ignore this curly braces. So this is the valid combination. We can write only else statement. This is invalid combination. This is invalid combination. The first two are the valid combinations. So this is about else block. Else block also if we have only one statement, curly braces are optional. I mean, next one is switch. So if we have number of I mean, number of if statement will be there. Instead of writing if else, we can write, I mean, better use case is switch case. We can write switch and corresponding value you can pass. Inside this, you need to write depending on your requirement. You can increase your cases and along with one default. Default is optional. If you want to provide, you can provide it. But one point you need to remember, for each case you need to write break statements. If you did not write break statement, it will move to, I mean, next case will also execute. That is the one point you need to remember about switch case. So I hope you got clarity on conditional statements. So if you like the content, hit on like button and subscribe Programming KT. Thanks for watching.